Welcome to this tutorial series on Dominion 6. My name is DasTactic. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the series. Hope you've been enjoying it. In this episode, we're finally going to be starting the game, sort of to a degree. We're going to be doing the first turn, the sorts of things to look for, what to plan for, what to target, what to have as an objective, things like that. Now, in the last episode, I did actually finish off by showing you that if we go and capture either black peaks or troll peaks, eventually this is going to freeze over. We're not going to be able to make our way through here. So do we concern ourselves with that one? Not too much. But one of the early objectives we want is to get what's called the cap circle, which is to get troll peaks, black peaks, and the last step swamp. Now, when we have a look at this one through here, the terrain in the last step swamp, this is swamp and river, back and through here. Swamp is low. Basically, it says, if I hover over down the bottom, it says swamp, very low income, hinders movement, but there's more magical sites, and the river is high income as well. So we get a bit more income from the river, but low income from the swamp itself. At Black Peaks, we have a look at this one through here. This is forest and mountain and river. So the forest has got good resources, but hinders movement with more magic sites. The mountain is low income, excellent resources, but more magic sites. And the river is high income. So a bit of a mix, a mishmash of different things in through there. So we don't really get to see too much what's going on, but there's good resources. So that's actually going to be good for us. At Troll Peaks, when we hover over this one, we do actually have Dominion in here, and then look at the difference. We don't get to see anything through here other than just the basic terrain information. Where we have Dominion, we have knowledge. And so we're down through here, we can see this is actually plains and mountains and river. And so plains mountains is low income, excellent resources, more magic sites, and the river is high income. So we're going to have medium sort of income through here. But because we have Dominion, we can then see the number of population, 13,000, which isn't a great deal, but it's actually pretty good. The income of 132 is actually very good, so that's actually fine. The resource of 101 is very good, so that's actually good as well. And the recruitment points, 105, is also good. Supplies we don't know, and supply usage is 0 because we don't have anyone in there. When we go back to Jotunheim and actually have a look at what it has a lot more population, a lot more income, like the resources aren't that much more, to be honest. But the reason we want the cap circle is, and I will do a separate episode on like going into in depth the economy and the administration. What we want to have is we want to be making use of the castle we have here to draw resources, etc., coming back in from the surrounding cap circle back into Jotunheim. And so it's a complicated explanation, but I guess the objective is to make sure you get these, and particularly if they've got good income, the income doesn't change. That's going to be consistent. But the resources, we get a boost to Jotunheim's resources if we take this particular one, and the amount we get is, if we go back into Jotunheim and have a look at the fortification. It's got an administration bonus of 45, and so it says a high administration value means the castle will be able to gather more resources from the neighbouring provinces and tax the province more efficiently. It will also provide extra supplies for nearby troops, although the supply bonus decreases as troops leave the vicinity of the castle. So the further out we go, the less supply bonus from our castle. But this administration 45 does take 45% essentially of the resources and feeds them back into Jotunheim, which for us actually then increases our resources to over 200, which is actually very, very healthy. And so this becomes a major objective for us to go and grab that one. We don't know what the bonuses are in here, but we can expect that the resources will be high. Again, that feeds directly in, and we would then get the bonus from that one. Even when this freezes over and we don't have access to there, if we had a castle in here or fortification in here, that would still actually attract the similar sorts of numbers coming through, even though the pass is closed. I'm pretty sure it works that way. Anyway, that's sort of what we're looking for. The swamp, again, we're not going to be expecting too much income from there. So Troll Peaks is our number one objective. Now, the first thing, the first turn, do you attack straight away? And this is one of these tricky little questions, and some players who are used to the game will sort of know what to expect in different locations, others won't. So I would suggest that as your default, if you're a beginning player, is don't attack in the first turn. Even the first 2 turns, you may want to sort of just see what actually happens. So we're going to find out what's in around us anyway next turn. We also have a scout unit in through here as well. If you have a look at this one's got a stealth of 40. It is a scout unit. It's Lingvi, the Jotun scout. In this case, I just want to move it off into a location to start to. So if I just go back out and sort of plan where I want to move to. I do get more information if I actually send them in, but I still get information anyway. I might send it out to Black Peaks, and then we'll just move up into the forest. There's a lot of forest around us, actually, which is pretty cool. So we're just going to move that one. When I just left-click, it just sneaks by default because it is a scout. If it's in with another faction, like I may have to press Control-click to make it attack, but sneaking is fine. If we just go back into this one, the first turn generally, as a bit of a... Oops, hang on. I keep on using WASD. But generally your rule of thumb at the start is to set up what's called a prophet. And so one unit can become the prophet. And the prophet then sort of promotes the word of your pretender god, and also then has other abilities. So let's just go and set up the prophet now. Now, should you wait? I would suggest as a new player, don't. Just use whatever your main attacker is. In this case, we just have a Jotun Hearse, which is a 75 level leadership, which is actually fairly good. So good leadership. It's a sacred unit anyway, but even if he becomes a prophet, even if he's not sacred, he will become sacred by being the prophet. So this turn we just tell him to become the prophet, so that gets him set up. That means we can't move him anyway. Now back in Jotunheim we want to recruit, so we can either go and click on recruit up through here or just press the R key. And so what we want to do is we want to start our magic research. And so we've got 3 different magic users in essence. We have this very expensive Jan Vida, who is 500 gold, 3 resources, and 4 commander points. Now we've got 600 gold, you can see down the bottom through here. But our commander points, we only have 2. This one's 4. It's going to take 2 turns to get that one. 2 turns to get that one, although that one, you don't want that one just yet. We want a magic user at this stage. This one here is only 2 commander points and 230 gold. We also have another magic user back over through here, the Vati Hag, which is very cheap, still 2 commander points. But this one here doesn't research all that well, only 5. So, and it's also old, which means it's going to die of disease fairly early. So the Gaija actually has got good research abilities, and it also will actually have like a different bonuses of magic coming in as well. And so initially we really want to start off with these. So I'm just going to go and grab one of those. Now, will you always want to choose a magic user at the start? Not necessarily. It depends what you want to do. For me, I want to start researching. I want to start site searching as well, which I'll do a separate video on site searching and how that actually does work. But I want to just get a few of these coming in. Now, I could either keep on clicking these, but every time I click on them, it's going to cost me 230 gold. So if I go and click a second time, it's queued up in there, but it's cost me a lot of gold. If I just left click it, I'll get the gold back. But I don't get them any faster, so I can leave that one there. I can turn on repeat recruitment, but then if I forget, I could end up with heaps of them that I don't want. The next thing is, what type of units are we going to be wanting to bring in? We've got 5 holy points. We've only got 1 holy unit, 1 sacred unit. So I can get up to 5 of these, but these cost 100 gold and 43 resources. For us, they will be good, and eventually I'll be wanting to get 5 of these per turn from here, every single turn. But initially, I'm probably better off trying to get just good troops initially. And so I've got heaps of recruitment points. I've got 160 resources, 370 gold. So I really want to get giants where I don't have too much resource drain. If I have a look at these guys, these take up 38, 35 resources, but 70 gold. So they use a lot of gold. These here are going to be a little bit different as well. They're fairly expensive. These have got bodyguard, which I won't worry about. I don't need them just yet. The Huskars, these are nice and cheap. Sorry about that. These have got a axe. The dog outside was barking. Shield and axe is actually fairly good. They've got good protection, good attack, good defense, good damage. I like the look of these, and also they're not costing a hell of a lot of resources. The gold is not really a big problem in this sort of instance, because we've just got to make the most out of these. So that's a good one for us. These Godin skulls are 31 and 40. what were these ones? These were 21 and 35, so these are even cheaper. This one in through here is a bit more with resources. We don't want to go that way. 39, that's also a bit much. It's got better armour than what these have got. These have got ringmail hauberks, and these have got chainmail hauberks with a lot more protection. So, but for what we need initially, this is fine. Coming back in, we've got Jotun hurlers, which is sort of like a range type unit with boulders. Again, it's fairly cheap in terms of resources. I don't really want it though, to be honest. At this stage, there's not this type of unit that I'm looking for. We do have the javelinists as well with 30 and 17. They do have an axe. They do have a shield. They've got leather armor, so they don't have as much protection. But not bad. It's still not a bad unit, and it's cheap. Like that's actually, and we do actually have a lot of these javelin throwing units anyway in our group. So that would be fine. And then we have the Jotun Bondi, which also has very cheap resources, low gold, so it's not very well trained. But again, good damage, good protection, just leather armour. But this is only an X-Men. I think I'd prefer to go with these guys, which just cost me a little bit more resource because of the javelins. I won't worry too much about these. Now, we may use these at some point. So these are actually just 6 resources, 15 gold. And the reason we want to probably use these, if we have a look at this one, these are size 6. 10 is the maximum in a square, which means we only have 1 giant per square. If we use these are size 3, which means I can actually, but you know, with the wolf, they can have one of these with one of the giants in the same square. They can actually work in with the giants. These are pillagers, yeah, skilled riders. These aren't bad, so they work fairly well. These guys here are 2. We can have 2 of these guys in every single area with a single giant. So we can have these sort of in around the bottom of the giants, just helping with the attacking. And so this is the sort of stuff we should be thinking about. The archers, we don't need to worry about it in this instance. But these only cost 5 resources. So we may just do the Javelineers plus these, I think. We won't bother with the Wolf Riders at this point in time. So we're just going to go and grab pretty much as many of these as we can grab. So I can get like a heap of them in through here, and then we'll just get like a bunch of these as well. And if I sort of want to get more of these, I can just get rid of maybe a couple of those and just get a few more of these just to sort of help out. That'll do. So I'll just get that many. That way I've got like a stack of these. I've got more of a stack of the giants. These will help with the giants by getting in amongst their feet. We'll have to script that, which will give me another thing to show you in another video. But this is sort of now just thinking through the recruitment. This is important. Again, if I'm really wanting to just not make sure I don't forget, I can turn that one on. I'm not going to bother with it though. I've still got a bit of gold. It doesn't matter if we keep the gold. We do lose the resources if we don't use up the resources every turn. So they're a finite resource per turn. The gold does accrue, so just be aware of that. So you don't really want to be leaving too many resources left if you can help it. Now we can even get started with the next one if we just go and, for example, choose another one of these Javelineers for the next one. It's just going to mean that the resources go down, the gold goes down, but we do get those 3 resources spent. So we don't get it built, but it does get spent on that particular unit. So let's exit out of that one through there. That's now got that one done. I like to just press the N keys, just make sure that there's no one that's left to do anything. So we've done our recruitment, and really for our first turn, that's all we really need to go and do. I don't need to attack. What I might do is I might actually just end my turn and just see if there's anything worth attacking in the next turn. So we'll just go and end our turn in here. There's nothing else we need to do. So it's a nice sort of clean sort of way of looking at what we have to go and do. So let's go and click on the end turn at the bottom. This user interface is a bit small, but anyway, that's fine. Now, only Bandar Log and only us actually proclaimed a prophet. Now we're seeing a lot of interesting things here automatically. So we're seeing now actually this will be interesting to see what happens up here. This is now frozen over. Troll Peaks is now frozen over, but that's still showing that we can get through. That doesn't make sense. That shouldn't be the case. Maybe it's got to be both sides. It's the same colour, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's unusual that the mountain pass is actually still open. That should be frozen now that Troll Peaks is frozen over. We also now have Dominion back down this way as well. And so down in through here, we actually have like an interesting group of, you can see there, this province contains about 130 enemy units. The army consists of mainly long dead and ghouls. And so there's an undead group in through here. Now there's very likely going to be some sort of undead type of location here as well, potentially. Back up through here, for example, we're seeing about 90 enemy units. This army consists of mainly crossbowmen, heavy infantries, and light infantries. Now that's actually not too bad. Crossbowmen, though, can hit through armour, so we have to be a little bit careful of that one. And heavy infantries can hold us off for a short amount of time, playing as Jotunheim anyway with the giants. In through here, we've got about 70 enemy units. This one mainly consists of heavy infantries, militias, and light infantries. Now, it tends to put in the order of how numerous the units actually are, and so we can expect a lot of heavy infantry in through here, which could be tricky. It's mainly crossbowmen, heavy, and then lights. These are not too bad. Just if you are playing as giants, a few little things to be wary of. In fact, anyone, if you are going into a location where you see knights or horsemen, probably avoid it until you're a bit stronger before you take them on. And also, if you're playing as the giants, just be careful going into provinces with barbarians. They can do a lot of damage to you. So there's a few little things to take care of. Now, all of these are going to be a little bit tricky for us at the start. So what I think I might do here is actually, I'll keep on with, I said it was only be one turn, but let's just play another turn. Let's spend another turn. We've now got, this one is now set up as our prophet, so we can sort of see that he's actually in through here. Now, I don't have much I can do with him at this stage. I can go in and you can see there, actually the candles have turned themselves off. I'll just go and turn them back on again. So we've got two candles in through this side, one candle there, one candle there. I can let this one push the Dominion out a little bit further because he's got up to 3. He can make up to 3 candles worth of prayer. So I'm just going to go and give him preach the teachings of God. So preaching will increase the Dominion strength in the current province. The Dominion strength can be increased to a maximum equal to twice the level of the priest. Okay, there we go. +1 if a temple is present, so which it is. So up to 7, actually. That's pretty cool. So that's new. That used to only be up to their actual level. So he can actually keep on pushing the Dominion up. That means we should get it spreading a bit faster in around the other locations. Again, we have a bonus when we attack. Now, if I go back into here and press T or open up the settings in through this other side, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have the Javelineers all together. I've only got 2 units in through here. I'll talk about scripting another time, but this one's one where I don't really want to be having anything else coming in. So if I go and grab this one, I prefer to keep that one in its own group. But do I want to have giants in with these? And probably not. I think I prefer to have them in with this group. So we end up with a bunch of Javelineers plus spearmen all coming together. Now I can tell them not to throw their javelins, but I think I will still allow them to do that. And also, I don't have a lot I can do with the scripting here. Now, with my prophet, he can now do some divinity type spells. So let's just go across. He now also is, well, he was sacred before, but he's always blessed. So he doesn't have to be blessed himself, but he does need, if we do actually end up with other troops that need to be blessed, I like to just default to saying cast a specific spell and then do the divine blessing so everyone on the battlefield gets blessed. In this case, we don't need it, but we'll still just do it. And I'm then just going to go to cast spells. He'll just do whatever spells he thinks is important, and so that will be important for him. I'm going to keep him at the back in through this other side. If I just go with him selected, I can then just click on this one and click on the different units, but it has him there, so I can sort of go and right-click to move him wherever I want him to be. I want him towards the back, but I don't know exactly where I want him just yet. If we then go and if we go and left-click on some of these other things, this is the 18 units we had of all the different giants. I want them towards the front in this sort of instance. And then I want to have the other units coming back in, just these small guys, to come in behind this group and end up in amongst their feet. That's what I want. So that's the line. This one here is not going to be part of the battle, so she's not going to be there. So to even make this one even cleaner, if you end up with a lot of different units that you don't really want to be trying to manage, if we just go and exit this and then go and, for example, just like this one's preaching at the moment, but if I click on that one and go to there and then right click on this one and press Y, I then only have just the units that are going in there. Now this would actually win, but we don't have to rush this. When you're playing multiplayer, you may want to try to maximize your growth. You want to be aiming for at least one province per turn, at least. But early on, you can certainly make that up again later on by getting a second army. But in this instance, don't rush when you're learning the game. So just sort of treat it like this one. But this one here, we can now sort of go back through and then choose the different units that we actually have in through this other side. So, and I can tell them what to do, like this is a box formation or skirmish formation, which makes them go further out. I'll just keep these as box formation. I don't have any other choice. Some of the other ones you like to jump with line formations, which can be very, very useful, different things like that. Now, the battle orders for this group is I'm going to have, what should we do? I want to just do fire at closest enemy initially. Fire at closest. And that'll do, actually. I'll just do it that way. They're not going to be retreating. If I put fire and keep distance, they'd actually start to withdraw as the enemies come in. I don't have to do this. They'll sort of do their own thing if I don't do this, but that's fine. And then these guys in here, I sort of want them to ultimately come in around the feet, but if they're all firing away at different things, I don't really want them, if I set the battle orders for that group, I think I'll hold a turn, hold an attack closest enemy. That way they're just going to basically hold there for one turn, and then they're going to move in amongst the feet of the giants. That's what should actually happen here. So that's sort of what we want to have happen. Right, that's sort of the scripting, basic scripting of how the attacks are going to then happen, but just let's play it safe, and we've only got 18 units there, 11 units in through there. Let's get another batch of units. So let's just go back into Jotunheim. We'll just press the R for recruitment. We've got this one coming anyway next turn. We've got a heap of gold, heap of resources. Let's just keep on getting more of these. So we've got up to, actually just get one more or less of those and more of these as well. There we go. That's used up all of our resources. We've still got a heap of gold. In fact, I'll grab up one of the gauges. That's going to then upset the resource count, but that's okay. I'll just leave that one there. It's only 2 left. Okay, so we get another magic user in through that other side. Now, now it is moving off. I don't want it to do that when I want it to just go back and preach the teachings. I was just showing you that how you can use Y if you've got too many characters in one location. So it just helps with the planning. In this instance, we now actually have Bestla. Now, Bestla doesn't have anything really that she can do at this point other than do research. And so once we start researching, we want to make sure we know where we're putting that research into. And so we come up to here. It's either F5 or research. So F5. We've already got conjuration, alteration, and evocation. Now, it's worth analysing what the spells are that you want to be looking at. And for us, we are really looking at death, nature, glamour, and blood. I'm not going to worry about blood because that's a little bit tricky to control. But certainly death, nature, and glamour is what we will actually focus on. And so I can just go back into F5 and then have a look at, if I sort of right-click on conjuration, and then I can actually go and for example, press D and just sort of see what we're going to get with the death spells. In this case, we've got a few that are fairly unique for us at level 3. Summon Shades. I don't really need these for what we are, so let's just go and press Escape. Alteration. Now we've got Skeletal Body, Hand of Death. I can just right-click on these to see what these actually then go and do if we need them. Again, I don't need any of these. Weakness may be worth doing. Range 25. The main damages the life force of the target, making it permanently weaker, so it makes it a bit easier to hit. Not critical for us, to be honest, so I'm not really all that keen on that one. I can go through the others. I can press G and look at the glamour. Mirror image would be useful, and blur in through there as well. A few soldiers become blurred, transparent, and difficult to strike in melee. Not bad. That's not bad, actually. That's at alteration. If we just go and press Escape and right-click on conjuration, nothing much there I don't want. Evocation. We're not going to be able to get that one because we don't have fire. Elf Shot will be a bit difficult. Warrior Illusion, I don't really need those as so much. I'll just look at the death. The Shadow Bolt at level 3 is not terrible. That's actually pretty good. Yep, that's actually not bad as a spell. So that one might be viable. The if we just press escape again, done evocation, haven't we? Conjuration and alteration. Yeah, we don't need any of those really with what we're looking at. And then I won't bother with blood magic. Enchantment down through this other side, animate skeletons, animate dead. Not really going to be all that important for us for the giants because we don't need to be spamming out the dead at all. Just look at glamour. Nothing in these early ones that really are all that important to us. Nature, maybe we'll get some of these eventually, but we don't really need them all that much just yet. What was the other one that we had? That was pretty much it, I think. Hang on. Glamour, nature, yeah, that's pretty much it we're looking at this stage. We will get astral as well. Just go back to F5 again. Now, usually these first 5 are what you focus on. Thaumaturgy can be helpful. Horror specs, range 3. I don't have a range 2 mage. That's going to be difficult, so I'm not going to really be able to do much there. Death, that's actually not bad. This one here, frighten. Yeah, this one here is not bad. So thaumaturgy there is not bad at all. Enchantment. And if you really don't have anything to really focus on, like if we just go with, say, if we look at thaumaturgy again, so we've got level 1, we just get some basic stuff, nothing much in level 2 or 3. So we go to thaumaturgy level 1. Let's get construction to at least level 2, so we can at least go and build. If we go and look at this one at level... Actually, level 1 we get the magic trinkets. Level 3 we get the lesser magic items. We want to go to level 3, so we'll just get it up to there. The evocation, shadow bolt, level 3 there. So we'll just get that one to level 3. That'll do for starters. It just queues up the research, and we're going to need a fair few of these to go in there. So again, just have a quick look at what we're doing. That's all okay. Research is now controlled. These guys are doing what they have to do. Now pressing N again, we have somebody who hasn't moved. Our scout is back over here. Now we can't cross the river, so we can go down to Oaklands if we wanted to, or we can go up into Dark Woods. Let's go to Dark Woods. So I'm just going to grab this one and just sneak on up. We want to just scout around and see what else is around with this particular scout. So that's turn 1 done, and now turn 2. Let's just end our turn. And then I'll end this episode, and then we'll come back next episode and then have a look at a few more turns in the early part of the game, just as we start to try to control the different areas. So I'll just go and end this one. So at Jotunheim, we now actually have a double death mage, which is cool. So I'll put that one back onto research. This one's still preaching. This one is now preached all the way out to here, so we're seeing a bit more out this other side as well. We've got another location here. We can't get there from Dark Woods. Troll Peaks is actually thawed now, but we still got control of it. It's because it's summer, so summer is actually heating up the land. And we now actually, if we go back into here and press T, we now actually have even more units we can now sort of throw into here. And so our actual army is now really quite strong. And so we shouldn't lose too many of these as we sort of go into battle, because they're going to be able to do a lot of damage themselves. You can see our actual movement has gone from 12 to 10 with these. Now, I'm not going to be doing anything else with these at this point in time. So to end this turn, what I'm going to be doing is I can't get into the water, so I can't get out that way. So Hengvliger is going to move into Troll Peaks. So we're going to move into there. Just check the move. They're going to attack. These guys are researching. We're just going to go back to Jotunheim, press R, and we'll recruit yet more of these mages. We might start, because I think we're going to be pretty good with what we've got at the moment, we might start to bring in some of these guys now, some of these big guys. And so we can bring in 3 of those, is the maximum we can actually do with the resources. And we can then just get a few more of these javelinists as well, or one more and a couple more of those, or one more of those. So yeah, we're out of gold now, because we're now starting to bring in the big blessed units. Now, I want to get like a bunch of these before we do too much with this, but eventually we'll end up with a swag of these with another commander helping out with the other attacks. So we'll just exit this one. And again, this really just press, if I press in turn and I haven't moved that scout, it will then tell me. So if I just go up to here, hey, one commander, Lingvi, the Jotun scout is doing nothing. So I can just go across, press N, grab him. I'm just going to keep on moving around and having a bit of a look. So let's just move out this way and we'll move up and have a look and see what's inside the location over there. And that's pretty much it. Press N again. There's nothing else to have a look at. So using the arrow keys, just sort of move back around again. This one here will almost certainly have, this one here is a farmland and river. So we have to be careful of that one. That's going to have knights or usually horsemen at those sorts of locations. They're a bit harder to take on the farmlands. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. In the next episode, we'll end the turn and then we'll sort of see what happens just in the next few turns as well. Just so we'll play a few turns out just so you get a bit of a feel for what to do in the early part of the game. Thanks for watching. I will catch you then.